Just here. Got it. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions?
I guess like with what you said, what did it feel like with you being like an A-list actor for this musical?
Well, I was definitely not that. You're too kind by saying A-list, by the way. I don't think I've ever reached that pinnacle. But you know, High School Musical was my second movie. I was 20 years old. I had just, lived in Los Angeles for just 2.5 years before getting that audition. And I had already done another Disney Channel original movie, Halloween Town High, which I did, right out of the gate. And I had to go back to work at my normal job after making Halloween Town High. So doing High School Musical, I thought, I didn't know. You just never know how your career is going to go as a performer. And afterwards, of course, when just the lid blew off and the world all wanted to watch this little movie that we made here, it became extremely wild. It changed our lives overnight. And it's continued to change my life multiple times over the last 20 years. So it's hard to describe what the experience did to me just in that one moment, because it was everything. It was hard, it was fun, it was challenging, it was scary. Being recognized like in public is just one of the wildest experiences. 20 years later, it's still not normal to me. I still don't really get it, And but it's also amazing, especially being a part of a cool franchise like High School Musical. It's given me an opportunity to speak to kids like you and to work with people to help young performers who are looking to, hone their skills and know what to expect when going into this crazy wild business of theater or film and television or music, whatever, any kind of creative thing. So, yeah, I love sharing stories and I love hearing the stories too, because, High School Musical doesn't belong to cast or even to Disney or even to East High School or even the fans. It just is out there and it belongs to all of us. And there's so many, I've gotten to meet so many people over the years who have been in musical performances like this one that you guys have done in high schools, in community theaters, on Broadway tours. It's touched the lives of so many people, and all of us are just lucky to be a little part of it, and that's a magical thing. Anything up? Yeah.
Are you coming to see the show?
I really am trying to. I'm going to be here today and possibly some other days. We're trying to work out scheduling and stuff, but I'm not here just to answer questions. We are going to get up. I'm going to give you guys some notes and we're going to work on some stuff too, but I just wanted to, have a little chat and get to know each other for a little bit.
Is this your first time back in 20 years?
No, I've been outside the school a few times, just driving by and visiting it because, for one reason or another, I find myself in Salt Lake City pretty often. But we also shot High School Musical, the series here, and I came back to do an episode of season 4. This is the first time I've been in the auditorium since we shot High School Musical 3, and it is wild, I gotta tell you. I am seeing phantom me's. I was like, I remember when I came through that door, I remember when I sat over there, and when I sat over there, and when the auditions were being shot right there. There's just so many memories flooding back. But I always tell people, I could not care less about going back to my own high school. Didn't really love my high school experience and, have no desire to go back there ever. But coming back here feels like home. It feels like my actual high school because just so many incredible memories here. Hard work and fun and learning and growing. So, yeah.
Did you watch the video after you did it?
No. I watched the first cut of the first movie. We had a little premiere. It wasn't completely finished yet, but good enough to show a little audience. And then I didn't see it for years. I think I've seen each of them twice. You know, the first time it was, but I was young, and I hadn't made a lot of movies. I hadn't worked on many sets, and I hadn't watched myself or heard myself being recorded or filmed. That's something that everyone has a different thing. Some people really like. I'm not going to name names, but there are people in the cast that really like watching themselves.
Is it Troy?
No. And I'm kidding. There's not. But yeah, it's easier for some, harder for others to watch yourself, because it is, you know, you're watching a mirror and you don't look like yourself the way you think you look. You don't sound like you think you sound. And editing has so much to do with it, right? Like, I did my performance through, you know, the month and a half of filming, and then, you know, over half of what I performed didn't end up in the movie, because you do several takes, you do it a little different this time and a little that time, you add a little extra this time, sometimes a whole scene gets cut, so you just don't even know what's gonna happen. But you learn to just accept what it is, because that's what it is. You hear?
So what was your favorite memory from this movie?
Oh man, I've been asked this many times. I can't pick one memory out of everything, because we did 3 movies, a TV show, a spin-off movie, 2 concert tours. We traveled the world doing press tours for this thing. I mean, for the last 20 years of my life, so many great memories I've had from High School Musical. So it's hard to pick one. This is a good one. I'll remember this one for a long time. This is really special. I have never met and worked with a high school cast doing High School Musical. I've been invited to many, many of them over the years, let me tell you. But this one is so special, not only to this school, to this community and the city, but to me. So I made sure that I could make it here while you guys were rehearsing.
Do you still meet like the other cast members or like friendships established for filming, or just like?
Yeah, you know, when we made that first film, one of the magical things about making the movies was how quickly we became a family. I've worked on a lot of TV shows and movies over the years, and sometimes the performances can be great, and on screen everything can look awesome, but behind the scenes people just don't click or whatever, and it's not bad. It's just, you know, not every office is full of friends, you know, like, but we were so close, and the dancers and the crew and obviously the cast, some of my dear friends to this day are crew and cast members. The 2 choreographers are 2 of my best friends. Corbin and I, we hang out all the time. He and his wife were just over at my house a few nights ago, you know. And I talk to the rest of the cast here and there. Lives over 20 years spread out and go, and friendships grow and ebb and flow and all of those things. But we're like a true family. Sometimes we bicker and sometimes we don't, but we always love each other.
When you found out that you were cast as Ryan, what was like your reaction to that?
Well, I was surprised because I went in, I had my first audition, then I had a callback. At the callback, the director told me that I was auditioning for the wrong role because I was auditioning for Troy. So he's like, you're not a Troy, but you're a Ryan. Go back out, learn the Ryan sides, come back in, audition. And then we had a final callback that lasted all day long. There was 50 of us kids who were all auditioning for Troy, Gabriella, Ryan, and Sharpay. And all day long we would dance and we would sing and we would read scenes and we would be mixed and matched with each other, and they would slowly just tell people to, okay, if you hear your name, stay. If not, thank you very much. Okay. And so you're just like waiting to hear your name and hoping that you get to stay. Well, it got down to me and 2 other guys for Ryan. So I knew I had a pretty good chance, but I didn't hear anything for like a month. And this is the thing, you know, it happens all the time with getting called back. Sometimes you just never hear. They don't call you to say you didn't get the part. They don't, you know, they don't list a cast list and email it to everybody being like, you know, check to see if your name is on there. They just don't call you. So after a month, I was like, okay, I guess that didn't work out, you know, on to the next thing. And then randomly got a phone call and was like, all right, pack your bags, you're going to Salt Lake. So I was extremely excited because I hadn't worked in a while and it was saving my life, literally.
As an actor, how often do you have to take other jobs or other opportunities that aren't what you really want to be doing?
I mean, it depends on who you are and what kind of situation you're in. I mean, living a life as a professional artist is incredibly challenging and difficult. No matter if you have supplemental jobs for, you know, to pay your bills or not. I mean, I was so lucky. I hit the pavement hard. I moved out at 18. I supported myself. I was working minimum wage, and somehow found a way to pay my bills and would get acting jobs here and there until High School Musical. And then I quit the job and I've never worked another normal job since. And that's hard. It's difficult. And even with you know, being a working actor, it's still challenging. You know, you have to plan for the times when you don't work for a long time, because there will be those times, no matter how successful you are.
Which one was your favorite movie?
The second one. The first one has the best plot, the second one has the best music, and it's the best overall. And the third one, it's all for the glitz and glamour and the production value. Yeah, in the neon.
You and Zac Efron still talk?
I haven't talked to Zach in a minute. I did see his brother Dylan on Dancing with the Stars a couple of months ago, and his dad sat behind me, and so we got to catch up. I hadn't seen Dave in a long time, and so I was like, hey, please tell Zach I said hello. And after one of the commercial breaks, he was like, hey, Zach said hey back. But that, you know, Zach's a movie star. Hard to get a hold of movie stars. Sorry? Area of the school. The theater.
What would you say, like, the feeling, like, the transition of, like, being a hungry actor to, like, being a Hollywood star was like?
Wow. The moment changes, and it takes a while for it to sink in. I said that, you know, my life changed overnight, but I still had this feeling inside. You know, like I was saying earlier, you never know when the valleys are going to come and how long those valleys are going to be. You may be riding high, you know, making more money than you thought you were ever going to, and then it just dries up for a really long time. And this happens to everybody. You have to prepare yourself mentally and, you know, sometimes financially for those times. So I was very cautious and very wary of the whole success of everything, because it was so much. It was a little too much too fast for me. And so I kept thinking, well, it's only gonna be big for like this month. There's no way that it's gonna continue. Oh, it grows. Well, there's no way we're gonna get a sequel. Oh, we're gonna do a sequel. Oh, we're gonna do a tour. Oh, we're gonna do a third movie. Oh, it's gonna be in theaters. You know, like, I kept thinking that it was going to end. I was preparing myself for all of it to go away. And, you know, I was super lucky enough that it hasn't, really.
What was your favorite scene to film?
My favorite scene to film, well, I don't know scene, but I Don't Dance was my favorite musical number to do, because I grew up playing baseball. I was actually kind of a Troy when I grew up. I was such a jock, played all of the sports until I found the theater. And then I was like, okay, sports, see you later. I didn't try to do both. I did show up to my first dance rehearsal in my football pads, because I come from football practice. But yeah, getting to like relive my baseball years and work with a real baseball team and have baseball practice and then dance rehearsal back to back, mixing those two together. Of course, doing the number with my brother, Corbin, was just so cool. I love Ashley, and doing all of those numbers with her was, you know, amazing, but I was like, oh, I get to be in a dude's number now. So that was great.
How much of making the movies was like a collaborative experience? Like, how much of it was yours?
You know, that's a really good question. Most of the time it is, that day and age, and for Disney Channel, I'll just compare my first Disney Channel movie to High School Musical. I came in, I was given the script, you show up, this is what you're gonna wear, this is what you're gonna where you're gonna stand, this is what you're gonna say, action. And, hey man, I was like, that's great. Because I had never made a movie before. I didn't know anything, you know, what to expect or anything. When High School Musical came around, like, and that was normal. It's totally normal that, especially with Disney and lower budget movies, it's like we got a schedule to keep. There's not a whole lot of time for discussion. We got to work, and get this done. When High School Musical came around, I was so surprised that the director was so welcoming to input with our characters, with our choreography, with our wardrobe. So many things, and it wasn't just me, it was the whole cast. We had a lot of input on how we were seen and what we could explore with our characters. The whole Jazz Square thing came from my high school and theater background. I had two different choreographers that put Jazz Squares in every single number, and I was like, well, Ryan's gotta love Jazz Squares. That just is a little nod, you know, and it's fun. And the director was like, yeah, that's funny, that's great, let's add it. So, you know.
What is your favorite song?
That's a good one. I think the best written song in all three movies is "You Are the Music in Me." Not how it is on the CD, but just how it's written and what it means to me, honestly. Over the years, it's not the marketing, it's not the cast, it's not Disney, it's the fans that have kept this alive and kept it relevant, and "You Are the Music in Me" literally just describes that in the best way possible. So that's always the one that's closest to my heart.
What does showbiz mean to you?
What does showbiz mean to me? Well, it means a lot of things. It's my livelihood. It's fun. It's intense. It's dark and scary sometimes. It's extremely complicated, and it never makes sense. But that's the thing I usually tell people: never try to figure it out, because you'll waste a lot of time trying to figure something out that doesn't really exist and run on logic. You know, it's not always the most talented person that gets the role. It's not always the best movie that wins the award. It's not always the best person who gets hired for the job. And you just have to accept it. The more you can just get on the bus or ride the wave and say, you know, I'll accept whatever comes my way, and I'm not going to fight anything that doesn't, the better off you're going to be. And when you're open to that, that's how you're open to new experiences, new opportunities, new roles, or whatever lane you're going to be going down as an artist. How many of you guys want to be professional artists? Musician, dancer, singer, actor? Wow, that is a lot. That's incredible. I would say in my high school, like my senior year High School Musical, I was probably the only one who wanted to be a professional. So that is shocking. Now, you live in Salt Lake City, which is a great film hub, so it's a great asset for you guys to have. How about questions about that?
Do you have any
You know, it's a different world, professional theater.
Or like Broadway?
Well, anything artistic, the best thing that you can do is work on you. Don't try to fit yourself into some puzzle piece. Learn who you are and what you truly love doing, and be the best that you can be at that. Don't try to be better than anybody else. You know, some people will say like, be the best. I don't think that that's as important as it used to be. I think now what people really connect to is authenticity, is transparency, is truly showing the world who you are. Because when we see someone who is authentically themselves and they give everything of themselves to whatever they're doing, the song, the dance, the role, that's the X factor. You cannot help but just stare and be engrossed by that person's performance, and you want to see more and more. And that can be on TikTok, that can be at your local community theater, or wherever you can find a platform to do it. But I would focus less on the business part. You guys are at an amazing age to know what you want to do in your life. Most people in this world don't. They'll be searching for years and years. So just start being creative every day. Start making something every day. And I say every day with the caveat that, hey, if you have a bad day and you don't sing a song that day or whatever, the next day don't beat yourself up for not, sticking to something every day, but just always be thinking, what can I do to be making myself a little better? What can I do to hone my skills a little bit? If you play an instrument, play the instrument as much as you can. Log in those hours. Has everyone heard of the 10,000 hour rule?
Yeah.
Okay, you can be a master of any craft once you've put 10,000 hours into it. And that's a lot of hours. So be patient, take your time, and be ready for anything. If you're going to be an actor, say yes to everything. Learn how to horseback ride. Learn how to basket weave. Learn how to dive into a pool. Whatever it is that you're interested in or that you have an opportunity to do, try it out. And you don't have to stick with it and become the best basket weaver in the world, but when you get that opportunity that rarely comes around, it's like, oh yeah, well this role is a basket weaver. It's like, oh well, I have a little experience in that, so I can at least act my way through it, And it also just teaches you how to learn. You need to be a sponge and be able to absorb information and skill. Heavy on the information. The last thing that we need is another dumb actor. Please be smart. Stay in school. Care about your studies. Try your best to pay attention and to care about everything. Because, to work with people who are well-rounded and experienced and knowledgeable versus someone who has just said, well, I don't need to be smart because I'm just going to be an actor. I want to peel my skin off. Working with the person who doesn't know where America is on a map. Like, it's just maddening, And so, yeah. Back there? Oh yeah, it's extremely challenging. Luckily in my career, after we had made the movies, I had a really great team, agents and managers. The best thing, to be able to surround yourself with people that you trust so that they can kind of make those decisions and not make those decisions, but help you make those decisions. And focus on all of the minutiae so that you can just focus on being creative. And that's hard because, doing High School Musical for 3 years was extremely challenging. And yeah, we worked in other jobs here and there, But the world knew us as this one thing. And some of us were like, well, I gotta run away from that. I gotta show the world what I can do. I'm a serious actor, or I'm a musician, or whatever. And others, were like, oh, I gotta hold on to this and milk this for everything that it can. There's no wrong way to do it. You just have to be happy with whatever path you choose. I never feared of being typecast or for being only seen as one thing, because I had my whole life ahead of me. And I knew that I probably wasn't going to be my age that I am now before I would start acting, looking like an actual man and get to do the roles that I wanted to play. I graduated high school so many times, let me tell you, on movies and TV shows. So I and a lot of my inner struggle was, well, I want to grow up. I'm a man. Like, I want to be everyone. I would answer the door to my house, and the guy would be like, "Hey, sports, your mom home?" And that. But then all the while, everyone else telling me, take advantage of it, love it, cherish it. So wherever you are, whatever is going on, learn to love it. Those hard times, and this goes for life. This isn't just theater. If you can learn to accept and love the difficult things in your life and the hard times and the things when things don't work out the way that you want them to, trying to view them as lessons instead of failures, because no one who has ever been successful at anything did it without failure. We all need to fall before we can pick ourselves up. And I know you've probably heard that a million times, but it is so true. And collecting those lessons and collecting your failures and holding them and loving them and saying, thank you. Thank you for teaching me that lesson. I'm glad that I so wanted that part and it didn't work out for me. And I know now, looking through it, why what lessons I needed to learn from that thing. And now I have that in my back pocket. And I can carry it on to the next job or the next relationship that I have or the next group thing that you're put together with people to work with them, all those kinds of things.
Do you think you relate a lot to Ryan?
I relate incredibly to Ryan. Ryan, like I said, I grew up doing theater. I did my first show when I was 12, and from 12 to 18, I was always in a show, whether it be at my high school or the community theater or regional opera or improv or whatever. I was just constantly in shows. So there's that. I also had an older sister, I still do, who we would perform little shows on our fireplace when we were kids for our grandparents, and she would always step in front of me, push me behind, the little brother. So I knew what it feels like to be pushed into the shadows and to be patient. And I think, when we were developing the character together, the director and I thought it was really important, we thought it was really important that Ryan was someone who was a beacon and a representation of all of those people who were still trying to figure themselves out and were still, you could see yourself by not being seen. We all know what it feels like to be second choice or pushed in the back or overlooked or not heard when all we want to do is say, is to be heard. And I think that's why Ryan is the best character in the show. Sorry to anybody else in the rest of the cast. But, I'm a bit impartial, but a little biased. But, I think he not only gets to represent that, but he gets to move around and throughout the rest of the movies, be friends with everybody and not just have it be this, I'm in one clique and I'm going to be in that forever.
What's something like a skill that you've had that you've gotten from anything in your career? Language skills or acting skills or something that's really stuck with you?
Well, I was on a TV show for several years called Switched at Birth, and I learned sign language.
Do you still know?
Yeah.
My mom says hi, by the way.
Oh, cool.
She loves you.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, that's weird. No, I was never fluent, but you know, I've taught my girlfriend, and you know, we chat when we're, you know, in a crowded room or a loud place, and you know, we just need to like have a little communication. But I like that is a great example of learning things that don't always, maybe not always pertain to what you're doing. It's always important and always a good idea to learn as much things as you can. Yeah, let's do this one and then let's get working.
Would you recommend getting like a degree in acting, or if you want to be an actor, you just go for it?
Don't listen to me. One, the world is completely different. I mean, 23 years ago, the business was different, education system was different. I was different. I have a lot of friends who went to college and got degrees. Some of them used it, some of them didn't. It's just really up to you and where you are in your place whenever you graduate high school. I never want to say no to more education. I was really fortunate to have that older sister that was very bossy and taught me everything I needed to learn 3 years before I needed to. So I felt pretty ready to go, and I never stopped learning. I bought a textbook the other day. Like I love learning. I love, you know, learning new things, studying maps. You know, I'm a nerd on so many things. So as long as you never stop learning, I think that's key. If you're ready, you have to know in your gut. If you're ready to get out into the real world, great. If you're ready to do both, a lot of people can do that. You can do school and, you know, great colleges have great theater programs and music programs and, you know, education that I didn't get, but I got the education of throwing myself out on the streets and trying to just figure it out at 18, which was difficult. All right.
Well, should we show them status quo? They're actually going to be dancing.
Okay, perfect.
So.